Innovative.
Ladies and gentlemen of the California Trap Trinity, hold on to your Kush blunts and your lace fronts. This is your number one choice for entertainment. It's your boy that always shine and keep the promos right on time. That's right, the promo king himself, Product 5 Stacks and Count. Ladies and gentlemen of the California Trap Trinity, Compton, Long Beach, Los Angeles, it's your man with all the shine and keep the promos right on time. That's right, the promo king himself, Product 5 Stacks and Counting in the fucking building. This right here, this is California's finest radio, season 6. You know what I mean? It's a momentous occasion. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody love what we doing already. Shout out to everybody that's been tapped in with us, man. I'm getting love from all over, man. Not just California, but people out of state as well. You guys have been tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Man, Cali's finest radio. All one word. That's how you get in touch with me all day long. Listen, man, we keep this shit real, man. I got a very special guest in the house tonight, okay? This gentleman right here, man. Some of the accolades, if what I can't speak on, I'm gonna say this much. This man probably done licked more money than you probably even been in the same room with. On my mama, bro. This is a real nigga. Before we came on stream, y'all, and shout out to Bigo, shout out to Instagram, shout out to Twitch. We here, man. Listen, man. He showed me his paperwork. Okay, that was before he even allowed me to bring him on camera. He showed me his paperwork. This man is everything he say he is, man. All right? Carver Park, man. OG, BRYDOG in the fucking building, man. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling all right, man. All right, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today, man.
Hey, man. I feel the same exact way, man. It's all gas, no breaks, no lames, no fakes. So I got a real one in the seat right here with me, man. So we gonna get it going, man. I'm gonna definitely let you wax poetic and talk a little bit about some of your accolades. You know what I'm saying? Now remember, y'all, we're not advertising nor bragging, but I mean, shit happened, right? You know what I'm saying? Noteworthy shit. Yeah. You feel me? So I mean, damn shit. We just here to hit him in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to my producer Cam in the building, man. Innovative culture. We doing it, man. Shout out to the firm, Nakia Gray, man, as well. And we getting to it. You already know what it is, man. So look. We got a lot to talk about today, okay? Firstly, let's start with my opening thought, B, okay? Now, this right here, I really wanted to touch bases on, and I think this is something that will hit home with you. I'm going to let me say this, and then I want to get your take on this. Now, okay, there's a lot of unks. There's a lot, and I'm an unk myself, okay? There's a lot of unks that are beefing right now on social media. Like, it's a lot going on right now. Okay, most notably we got the Suge Knight and Reggie Wright situation. You know what I'm saying? These cats is going back and forth. He getting at him from the inside, which is really crazy. Then these dudes is throwing references from the 90s and the 80s. Half of the people that's listening can't even connect the dots because they not old enough, but they just know these are two names known in the streets. Of course we got other ones. We got other older cats. We got people like 600. We got people like, I gotta say his name, Whack 100. We got older cats that that are getting involved in this young man's game with this content. How you feel about that? Because you ain't no content nigga.
I just feel like I'm gonna just say it, man. I just feel like, man, our turn is up. I mean, okay, like, it's a young cat, a young rapper, G Perico.
Shout out G Perico.
I know my lane with him, but that's my guy.
Yeah.
We communicate, all the concerts I get in, the different this, that's another. But in the same token, too, I'm not trying to be G Perico, mean age-wise.
Yeah.
I know I'm far older than them. I just think they need to stay in their lanes. But then if you're a content creator,
yeah.
Shout out to Melly Mel.
Shout out to Melly Mel, the hood postman.
And the Rini.
Lock the door.
They do it's a whole different dynamics in what they do. But the beefing, I can't relate to it, man. That's one of the reasons why I really got off the internet, because you could be a keyboard gangster and I can't catch you.
Uh-huh.
That's not a shot at anybody directly. It's just that with all the madness that goes on, you could just say anything about anybody.
Right.
And then you got a million people believing it.
Right.
So I think them dudes, man, that are really like going at it with each other like that. Well, Suge a different animal.
Okay.
Everything with Suge is an end game.
Okay.
He played chess.
I got it. Yeah.
Anybody thinks Suge broke, then they stupid. Then they.
So when you look at, it's crazy that you say that too, because you look at the way, like, and I'm just speaking in terms of person, in terms of they movements within the game, right? So I'm not big upping anybody through any of this, but I'm saying he worked underneath Suge, and Wack always talk about the same thing, always talk about in-game strategy, chess not checkers, and then you say that about Suge, so you think that kind of, that's the shades of that, you know what I mean, when it comes to that situation, or just Suge just a different beast all on his own?
No, Suge is, see, the writing on the wall. He's setting the groundwork for his parole. Think about this. We just we're not gonna mention those shows but we're gonna just say we're gonna throw some hypotheticals. Say we got Cali Square, one of the biggest podcasts in the United States. How much you gonna pay Suge to come on in and get the story first?
Right.
Then how about if we got Light Podcast? How much you gonna try to outbid?
Right.
Then how about if he hit all the hot dudes, the clubs and all the stuff? I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that clubhouse stuff. I'm talking about
actual, yeah.
And then he pulled all the followers to his own demo.
Right.
With a young counterpart.
It's a smart way to move. It's a smart way to move. That's interesting. So just overall, okay, I get where you coming from though, B, just in terms of, if you really moving like that, not to say that them dudes don't, but if you really moving like that, you really like that, you're not gonna get involved in the internet stuff because you willing to take it to another level if need be.
See, when I met Mob James, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you a true story, man. I flew out to Texas to holler at that guy out there.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that guy hollered. Somebody said, "Does his probation agent know he out here?" So long story short, I was telling Mob James with someone in the car. I told him, "Yeah, I'm out to Texas to holler at a certain individual." Yeah. And my homeboy said, "He's still alive." Because it was me going out there. So right. So now with Al Prophet and with Bob James, they both heard the story, and I got them on film laughing at it.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if you're familiar with Al Prophet, but he's a good European.
Yes.
That's a good European.
Yes.
Right? It's because me and Al Prophet, I shared a joke with Al Prophet. I found a dead body at one of my jobs, right?
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. You just said just smooth. Yeah, I found a dead body,
So I called 911. This is a true story, too.
Yeah.
So I say, excuse me, my name is Brian. I work for such and such. There's a corpse right here. So she says, "Sir, how do you know it's a corpse?" I said, "Well, I'm from Compton." She said, "Oh, sir, say less. Where you at? We'll send you out." I swear to God, man. Why do everybody think
if you from Compton?
That's what she said.
Just automatically you used to dealing with corpses.
I swear on everything that's sacred to me. That's what she said. She said, "Sir, how do you know he's dead? How do you know it's a corpse?" I said, "I'm from Compton." She said, "Oh, sir." Oh, I swear to God, she said this. Well, I'm not really theological on everything sacred. She said, "Sir, say less. We're sending a unit out."
That's crazy. That's
Al Prophet know about that too. He was laughing his ass off.
Okay, I gotta touch on this. What is your experience with death? I mean, have you showed me, and like the paperwork when it say that red rum on that motherfucking paperwork, it say that. So I'm not trying to glorify them, but I just, it's so many internet thugs out here. It's so many of these cats running around talking about, "Nigga, I'll catch a body in a minute." Can you just talk to maybe some of these YNs and just let them know what do it really take to be able to unalive somebody? Like, that's not easy. And they talk about it like on their music, you know what I'm saying? They content, like it's just an easy thing to do. And I just want you to break it down, B.
First thing I want to say is I wouldn't wish the feeling of knowing that you cause somebody demise on nobody.
That's right.
Because you have to be a certain kind of individual to deal with the reality of what you've done and be able to put it in a compartment. Most of these dudes who talk about death on their records and things like that, they ain't had no point to point shootouts like me. One to the stomach if I can come out. One to the stomach if I can come out. Then my man hit me again. and my homeboy standing right there.
Yeah, and you no lie, you showed me in the paperwork you
But
got
my
one
homie-
bullet in
so
your
they-
back, your stomach.
Yeah, so they don't.
Yeah.
I give it just as good as I got when I was younger, but they don't understand that you talking a good game, but can you really stand the pressure? And then if you really was doing all that, you wouldn't be talking about it anyway.
No.
You know, at least when I was active, I didn't. My favorite phrase was, "I heard the Carver Parks just bust on such and such, so y'all better watch out.
Yeah.
I'm about to get up out of here, homie. Unless y'all want me to post up with the homies, you know I'm strapped." But I heard.
Yeah.
You never heard me say I did.
Right. Right.
And anything that I will speak on pertaining to the unfortunate things that I've done are all convictions, time served, no unsolved, no
Right.
implicating anyone else,
Right.
no the statute of limitations. I'll talk about check cashing robberies I did. Statute of limitations ran out. Yeah, I did a lot of. Well, I had a ball doing them.
Yeah.
And banks.
Okay, you know what? Talk about, you got so many fucking stories, man. Talk about the $53,000.
Okay, I got out on the 1st. Well, actually, what happened was I'm up already. I had just passed. This is a year earlier. I passed. I got like 30 bands. I just hit touchdown. I was only out about a week. I touched like 10 pounds of meth,
Okay.
like 30 bands, and about 10 pounds of crime. I touched that as soon as I touched down off a parole violation. So now I'm doing my thing and I get locked up. But before I get locked up, my ex-wife called me, tell me, come help me wash the kids' clothes. I tell her, you got washing in the apartment complex. She say, no, it's broke. You help make them. So we go, and I see a check cashing place. I can't believe it. We're in the laundromat. Lady walks out the check cashing place into the bathroom in the laundromat. It resonates with me. I start stuttering. She know me. She from the set. She said, you ain't finna rob them. You up already. I said, you right. I catch a violation.
Damn.
I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm broke now. Everything's lost. So I come home, and I remember the check cashing place. So I went to my mother's house, kicked it with her for a day, kicked it with my kids for a couple of days, went and got me a G-Ride, went up to a park where they was playing basketball, picked up the keys, chirked the car, got me a G-Ride, went to the check cashing place, kicked the door in, and hit them for 53 bands and went back home. My 5th day out. You read the paperwork.
Huh.
So that was crumbs. That's what I was accustomed to getting. But it was a cool lick for a brother that was home not even 7 days.
Damn, that's wild. That's fucking wild. That's wild, dog. Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's
cats,
money that I used to lose in the crap game.
That's ridiculous. That's why I said, y'all, done touch more money in licks than most cats been in the same room with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you was really, really moving out there.
You seen how we lay them down. You seen the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I seen that. I've seen the surveillance photos
And we never
the whole
did
night.
enough.
When you watch the movies, when you watch Heat or Dog Day Afternoon and stuff like that, just know that this man lived that. Like, that's a fact.
That was us.
I got to get that to you. Let's talk a little bit about, since you do know about the prison system and going through the whole nine. I done seen it.
Right.
So let's talk about these pardons that's been going on. Okay. So recently, Larry Hoover and NBA YoungBoy, maybe not so much YoungBoy, but I know you could kind of speak on the Larry Hoover one because that's more, you know, in your wheelhouse as far as the generational. You understand that part. A lot of these cats were screaming out "Free Larry Hoover" and don't even know the history behind the man. But you,
Okay, now let me explain that part. As the generation now would say,
yes,
Larry Hoover's original co-defendant, Didi, he and I play Scrabble every day together because I'm a Scrabble king. I'm the greatest.
oh wow,
Every day.
that's Scrabble King.
From 2006 to 2008.
Hell yeah,
Crusher, his co-defendant, he had the GD car, I had the Crip car at Terre Hut, USP. When it was a regular joint, if anybody's in Terre Hut USP right now, run away from them. They're no good. Okay, but when it was a regular joint, I was there. I had the Crip car.
right,
Crusher was Larry Hoover co-defendant. Short Dog, Bougie, and what was that? Fool. All of them were the ones that had the IDs and went up there to visit them.
yeah,
So I have intimate details about their structure, but which I won't go into. But I know
No,
the board members are govs and so forth.
Yeah.
So when I think about Larry Hoover, I think it's overdue. I think because based on the simple fact that if you really think about it, when Larry Hoover was in his heyday and he was still in that Illinois prison, he stopped 90% of the shootings in the city of Chicago.
see, they don't talk about that.
He started the coalition, which consists of Vice Lords, Stones, GDs, and BDs, and everything up under the folks' banner when you came to jail. So it created a cross unity of dudes kicking it because they're all up under the same banner.
Right. I will say this. Now, I will say this, and I don't have any facts to back this up, but just through things I've read and things that I've seen, like, you know, I'm not trying to glamorize organized, you know, activities. We'll
Right.
call it that. I'm not trying to glamorize organized activities, but in the inner city, when there is a group that's given to the community as well as they doing activities, it is a lower crime rate overall.
Right.
Because they control that pocket of what's going on in there.
Well, he changed the narrative from gangster disciple to growth and development.
Right. That's deep. That's
so
deep.
If you want to talk about redemption in the criminal structures, we live in a country stolen by crooks and ran by thieves.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We live in a country that not the founders but the thieves committed the greatest atrocities documented in the history of humankind. Mm-hmm. So why can't this man, who deserving of a pardon, who got, which they threw out, entrapment to give him all that time in the Fed, 6 lives.
Right.
Well, you can give a man 6 lives, he's already serving 200 years.
That is ridiculous.
That was punitive punishment.
Exorbitant amounts, man.
So I think that is a wonderful thing, and I think that the state should let him out. And I think he don't got nothing but positivity because of the people that's going to come around him. And then as they call them young dudes, I don't like using that N-word, so them young dudes, they going to gravitate because of all the stories they heard.
Right.
And they going to want to be in that circle.
Right.
But then it's going to bring structure back again to their structures.
So the question I got, B, before we move on, okay, so the flip side of that, we know Larry Hoover, the man served his debt, right? Yeah. Okay, then you look at a youngster like NBA YoungBoy, he also got a pardon from Trump. And we know that's probably due to his popularity, you know what I'm saying, with the modern age, and because he is who he is and he's tapped in with the younger culture. So it's like only in America do you get pardons with platinum plaques. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So do you think that, like, this was a political decision? Do you think that pop culture, because Larry Hoover has been a popular name the past couple years in terms of Drake they was doing a concert for him, all that kind of stuff. So he's relevant. Uh-huh. Do you think that pop culture should affect political decisions like that, such as pardons?
I think it should be diverse.
Okay.
But you asked a question. I'm just gonna make this real brief.
Go ahead.
All right. It's a line from a song that a lot of these dudes right now, the generation, don't know at all. Nickels, dimes, and 20s and 60 cents bumps. Brother rolling hard, stacking paper like Trump. Nickel, dimes, and 20s and 60-cent bumps. Brother rolling hard, stacking paper like Trump. This is before Trump flipped the whole script on everything and became whatever he is now.
Yeah.
That's Scarface, money and the power.
Right.
But everybody was like, yeah, you got to get that paper like Trump, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the Republican Party, as far as the two parties in this country, originally was the party of brothers. It was the party of Lincoln, who didn't free nobody, so don't think I'm glorifying that.
No, I get you.
But it was the party of brothers. So what Trump is doing now, I'm not going to live to see it, but I'm letting down the blueprint now to snatch the youngsters back to the Republican Party.
Man.
Why should I vote for him? Trump? Why? What's his name? YBA?
YBA or
the kid.
NBA.
Yeah.
NBA young boy.
I'm his fan.
Right.
You want to see how fans go? I'm in the feds.
Mm-hmm.
My son.
Mm-hmm.
Auntie, call on the phone. You need to talk to your son. He's wearing black chucks and red khakis and white t-shirts. What? Not because of the gang thing, but because of the gang thing. Not because, I don't care what color.
Right.
The gang thing. Right. So I talked to my son. Why are you wearing all this? What's going on with you? Is Crips all in your auntie's complex?
Right.
She saw one of them sweating you.
Yeah.
Where you from? Nowhere. I like Lil Wayne.
Yeah, see? And yeah, that's
Lil Wayne could have got my son killed.
That's crazy.
So I sent my son some bread.
That's wild.
I sent it through other parties for him to get school clothes.
Yeah.
I talked to him about the gang affiliations. Had him call my other son who knew about my gang affiliations, grew up in the hood. My son, rest in peace, said, ask your brother who I am. Mm-hmm. Because these kids are in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
wild.
But I just was simply saying, so why, what's his name? I don't want to mispronounce the brother's name. Why?
NBA YoungBoy.
NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Trump pardoned him. The Republicans. I love him.
Right. Yeah.
My son was a fan of Lil Wayne at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He flamed up in California in all crip environment.
They affect how these youngsters
this kid is so far removed from gang activities that he don't even know what signifying red pants and the black chucks and the white tee was.
Right. Well, because times have really changed, and it's like as a symbol of that. Okay, so Marathon Burger, the second location, just opened up. Shout out to Black Sam, and they got their thing going on over there. Now, here's my issue with that. Okay. It's like when it come to Nipsey and stuff like that, like legacy left that legacy behind. His brother is trying to carry that mantle, and I love what they doing. Nipsey didn't just talk ownership; he left a blueprint, and now them opening their location in Venice Beach is keeping the message alive. Now, I heard a disturbing comment on a certain platform. Okay, they always think people clout chasing, so I'm not going to say. We'll just call them No Dribble. Okay. All right. Now, there was somebody, I don't say a member, there was a person on there that said, hey, Marathon Burger is now starting to become the latest gang member hangout spot. And what I have an issue with is like, that's a black man's business. And he just opened it up, taking location. Okay, we know who affiliated with, we know what members will support it. But just the same, man, you think that man want his establishment to be labeled that way?
Now, Negroes.
Yeah.
Flies always into some shit. Scarface, you over by, baby. But the thing with that is, man, Venice Beach is an international attraction. It's strongly enforced by law enforcement.
It's a very good tourist spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to be just gang members hanging there. And then secondary, anybody that's been to Marathon Burger knows it's always a line.
Mm-hmm.
So you have people in line.
Yeah.
Nobody's hanging out here.
No.
I haven't met a gang member yet that's such a groupie that he's going to go hang out at a hamburger stand.
Yeah, that's wild.
Even
man.
from that section.
Yeah.
Why are we going to hang up there at Venice Beach when we got a whole turf?
Right.
Now, we'll go to Venice Beach and we'll stop by and shout out to the homie.
Right. Support
but we're
the
not
homie.
trying to be here and sabotage the homie.
Yeah. It bothers me like that because, the first one, when they opened the first one, you had the situation with Rockstar and
But now he has the right people around him.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was never supposed to go out there. Okay. This is on a minute level.
Right.
But when I was the bag with my crew,
Right.
my crew used to shelter me. Even though I was the first one trying to kick it off and all that other stuff.
Right.
My crew, I'm like, why you always be trying to protect me, homie? I'm good. They're like,
Right.
Cause you know everybody and we getting bread and you tripping. That's why we here.
Right.
So he didn't have the right people around. Now he has the right people around because he's opened up a second location.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now the right people won't tolerate, hey, I understand you from the section, homie, but what's the benefit of hanging out up here?
No,
you don't get no privilege just because you're from the section. This is a business.
No, that's
Even in the section, you can't go to your homeboy who's selling whatever and say, hey, man, let me get this right now and I'll hit you back later.
Right.
No, homie, this is business.
No, definitely.
So I think that whoever individual is trying to tear him down, that's larceny and envy in that person's heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you should be applauding him.
Absolutely.
Because not only is keeping his brother's legacy going globally, now like how you have the big donuts right there on La Cienega and people come internationally and want to take pictures there.
Mm-hmm.
People were doing that with the first Marathon Burger.
Right.
You have people that are coming from all over the globe now. They're going to come, especially to Venice, and I want to take a picture in front of Marathon. Give me a selfie. Give me a this. Give me a that. So I would thank No Dribble for the advertisement to your followers, and maybe those out of the country who come here now and want to go see what you're talking about and say this was a hell of a nice experience.
Right. No, I can dig it. That's what I'm talking about. Wrap that shit in a bow. So let's brighten the mood a little bit. Okay. So I don't know if you know about this football player by the name of Travis Hunter. He all over the place. Okay. So for those of y'all who don't know who Travis Hunter is, he's a gentleman who just went, I think went second. Was it second in the draft? Top five, I believe. Yeah. So he's a top draft pick in NFL draft. They saying he can dual threat. Like he can play on the offense or the defense. He's supposed to be a transcendent talent. They said this guy's going to be something really special, like a Saquon Barkley, right? Okay. Now, going all the way back to his time in college, he was getting criticism because of the young lady that he's dealing with. Okay. So now, the young lady has come out and said different things. It's on social media, such as she saw him as a friend early on. She didn't really want to take it there with him, but she came around to it. I'm wondering how close to the draft that was. You know what I'm saying? She when they got married, it's a video going viral right now. How she They're saying she refused the kiss.
Prenup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I'm getting to. There wasn't even a prenup. He didn't even ask her to sign a prenup.
Yeah. Now,
Far be it for me to tell a man that he's walking into a burning building with gasoline draws, but this man is really walking into a bad situation. Okay, now here's my controversial take, and then I'm gonna let you give your take on it, B. I want y'all to look real close and look me in my eyes when I tell you this. If you can sit in a car while your woman goes into a party and do whatever she want to do, none to you to be none the wiser, sir, you might be a cuck. This might not be the popular opinion, but I'm gonna stand on it. I believe, Travis, you should really do some research into yourself as a person, and I believe, and this is just my opinion, I'm nobody, but I think you would probably be down with somebody else fucking your woman. Okay? Now listen, I'm not gonna say it's so much different. Diddy going through a lot right now because of shit like that. So it's out there. We all know it's certain guys that like to get down like that. Now not me per se. I got to have it to myself. I'm solo dolo because I come with the, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I mean, damn, man, maybe I'm tripping, B. I mean, how do you think that's normal or?
First off, you're not going in anywhere without me. Secondly, my generation called it henpeck because obviously you the bag.
Mm-hmm.
She don't got nothing.
Nothing.
Now that she divorced you in California, she getting half.
Yeah.
Of everything you brought into the marriage, post-marriage. You was a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
You the smartest dummy, and he got the wrong people around him.
That's real shit. No,
I don't care. So, she came up. No babies. She could walk away rich. He's foolish.
Right.
He was better off going with what's Scottie Pippen's ex-wife name?
Oh, Larsa.
He was better off going with her.
Might have came out a little cleaner.
She got a bag, so she would hit you too hard.
Yeah, man. Look here.
But any of us here would not pass her up, even though I don't like that flavor.
Right. Speaking of different flavor, Cardi B and Offset. Okay, so Offset filing for spousal support is either the wildest flex or the pettiest move of 2025. But honestly, like, I respect it.
Was it before or after she dropped those photos? She just dropped the photos with her new dude.
Oh,
and that just went viral a couple days ago because he commented on the photos. He made himself look real silly.
Listen, I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do because from what I'm reading and I'm hearing,
I think he said nice rollout or something like that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with ladies. Let me keep it real with y'all. Now, I'm not gonna say Offset don't want her back. We know that just based off of some of his movements that he still got an affinity. That's his baby mama. They got kids together. Of course, he loved her and stuff like that. But you ever heard the saying? It looks real nice, but I wouldn't want to live there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he used to live there. I don't think he really want to live there no more because he know what he gonna get. But he definitely gonna throw obstacles in the way because of the new man. That's just my opinion.
Well, my opinion with him is, I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have you.
That's what he on for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he get the pettiness of the year award for 2025 because first off, you rich. She's rich.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you trying to hurt her, something hit you in your pocket.
Right.
All right.
Well, he said that the reason why he filed was because he wants Cardi to spend more time. With the kids. He's saying that this was he wanted the lawyers to do this just to leverage her to basically be more involved, and also too because in the divorce settlement they kind of he's saying they're trying to take everything from him.
But from my understanding, she told him she don't want nothing from him and no alimony.
Well, that's what she said.
You gave me the one house and we good.
Well, we don't know what they be talking about in the paperwork.
But I'm saying if we're gonna go on with social media throwing out there with halftime, you can believe some of it and halftime none of it. But my understanding is if you both rich, all right, then she comes from a culture that is very similar to our culture, and that's partially our culture and derived from our culture.
Right.
So she has a mama who gonna be like, girl, you gotta go get your kids.
Right.
See, we let's go to the mama.
Mm-hmm.
Now then, to jump to him, he should have a mama to say, you trying to get some money from that girl? What kind of man are you? Because from both our cultures.
Hold on, B. Now, hold on. Because if the roles was reversed, everybody be saying, hey, baby, go get paid. Girl, go get paid.
Okay, yes.
And let me give you one more thing, B. Let me give you one more thing. Cardi B, I wrote this shit down. Okay, now, Offset his net worth is $30 million.
Okay.
Cardi B's net worth is $100 million.
Okay.
So he's got a certain lifestyle that he's become accustomed to. He put his career low key on hold to push hers because she was hot. So he got behind her and he pushed her. There was producers and I think he linked her with his management team and they took her next level. So he did sacrifice some things to help her amass that.
Okay.
So you don't feel like he deserved that? Like, I mean, Cardi's got the money now. You know, liberals love fairness until it flips the gender roles. And the conservatives, they say men provide until it costs you alimony. Offset just flipped the game. You might hate it, but it is balanced.
All right, well, then I'll say this. Being that she's worth $100 million, in good faith, she should throw him about $15 million and say, leave me alone.
Come on, like, slight work.
In good faith.
Yeah. That's no cap.
In good faith.
Yeah.
Here, man.
To kind of kill,
Let's stop all this.
It won't hurt her.
It's not gonna hurt her because you can't spend that $100 million. You can, but it would be foolishness. But I'm just saying that $100 million can only grow.
No, of course. No, you got that's an excellent.
So now, since you put it like that,
y'all can both.
Okay, I would have been, me like, all right, baby, you go about your business. You know what I'm saying? But throw me about 15 tickets. For them, I could have toured and made that in the time I put into you.
No, real shit.
So let's do it like that.
It's a path. Like when you guys have made this much fucking money and they got this much influence, like y'all can find a way, man. You know what I mean? Like she posted pics and pretty much stood on the fact that Mr. Diggs is her man. I think she was kind of forced into doing that now, not because of the Offset stuff though. I feel like her hand was forced
her
to
media
do
team.
this because of the situation with Stephen Diggs getting caught on there with that pink stuff with them girls. And I think that she had to go ahead and stand on it that, yeah, this is my man. This ain't, so don't nobody say that's her pimp, that's her drug dealer, that's just her emergency dick under glass. Like, you know what I mean? Because you got this case, you got this divorce stuff coming, custody, all of that. It still ain't a good look. Now, mind you, it's still not a good look. But I understand why she kind of had to come forward and say, this is my dude now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, I look at them bras like this, though. Okay, me and you, we grew up on the block together.
Mm-hmm.
And me grew up on the block, too. And it's a chick there. You bang her out. I bang her out. He ain't finna make her his woman.
Right.
So, okay. Now, the difference is, if you banged her out when she first moved on the block and he was her dude, y'all break up.
Right.
Now she my girl. That's acceptable. But there's so many other females out here. Is that thing platinum? I don't know their sexual thing, but I'm just saying.
Right.
Dude, you are a celebrity. You can have anybody you want. So I don't be understanding these dudes in the industry how they just pass these chicks around, because I break the scenario down to the hood. We're not gonna keep passing this chick around and then I'm making her my chick.
Right.
But if she was your chick at first, and I didn't burn you for her, as we used to say in my day, we used to burn you to take your bra, but y'all broke up and I ended up getting with her. But if she went through all three of us, never one of us gonna make her out broad. Mm-hmm. So when these chicks in the industries jump, and then another thing, like, I'm gonna touch on this, the Remy Ma thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Papoose.
Mm-hmm.
I put dude on his back for the disrespect factor. I don't want you no more.
Right.
I held you down. I got the receipts. When you came home, I backdoored myself to make you get where you need to be back at again.
But B, was he wrong for airing her out like that on social media?
Well, two wrongs don't make a right, but the same token like this. If you're a reserved man and your chick jump out there cheating on you, I'm going to serve you any way I can serve you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't got no kids.
Right.
So you're a slut bucket.
Slut bucket.
If we had children, I'm not going to never do that Maury Povich stuff and talk bad about it and then all of a sudden find out you the father.
Right.
Yet, we don't got no kids.
Right.
You trash.
It's crazy he mentioned Maury Povich too, because I don't know if you've seen recently, they was on, Maury's got a podcast,
okay,
and he was really getting that Connie Chung about all of the famous men that she slept with while they was together. So it happens at all these levels. Ain't that ironic?
Yeah.
the Mr. You know what I'm saying? You are not the father. Like that dude has had problems like for a very, very long time. There's no perfect situation with these relationships, man. And to touch on that and to expand on that, the situation with Zion Williamson. Now Zion can't stay out the headlines, man. And now this latest lawsuit is crazy. It's allegations of rape and SA from an ex. It's not just messy, like it's criminal if that's really true. But let's be honest. I mean, we built a system where superstar athletes are protected until the damage is done. And people say to believe all women, but then there's the energy. But where's the energy when the guy is worth millions, right? So it's like we love athletes until they embarrass the brand because this guy's career, they're saying his career could be in the toilet.
Right now, yeah.
You know, they talking about he done put his hands on this woman, and you know she's Jane Doe right now. Do you believe that these women's names should be released when they're high profile? Because you know, both Puffy and Jay-Z in those prospective lawsuits, they asked directly for those names to be released of their accuser, because you do have a right to know your accuser.
That's a constitutional right.
Right, but do you think that?
I think the name should be
okay.
Who are we protecting?
Well, let's say it's a situation like this where you got somebody of a public stature. So this ain't nobody.
When that chick name was released on the Kobe allegation,
yes,
30 people in the town said, "Man, we hit her."
Mm-hmm.
See, they wasn't gonna even test all the other pubic hairs on her panties.
That's crazy. Multiple pubic hairs on your panties
in one day.
Wild.
But if they would have released her name, she would have been this pristine woman.
That is crazy as the fuck, bro.
So you understand what I'm saying? So no, release the name. Let's not get dirt on her. But if it's truth in what she's saying, then she shouldn't even have a background. And I'm not saying giving your pee a party is wrong.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying you downright nasty though.
Not at the expense of, another, especially like you said, a high profile black man like that who actually got something going for herself. Yeah. It's like if you out there throwing it and you say this is what I want to do, then you can't be having second thoughts the next day after it's already over and done with.
Right.
That's crazy, man.
Well, I think they should release the names.
I mean,
that reasoning. That reasoning.
Yeah, because this is a high profile person. This ain't like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be highly, like something like, like I think the chances, when it's a high profile case, the chances of something happening to that woman because she faced her abuser or a potential abuser or alleged abuser. I don't think, even finding out in the Puffy case that whereas Puffy was doing some grimy shit and had people to do some dirt for him, the nigga wasn't Al Capone. Now we learning that now. He wasn't Al Capone. It wasn't this extensive network of trafficking and this and that. And now don't get me wrong, the case is still going on. Maybe there's still more bombshell evidence to drop, but you know what I mean? It's different, man. Like I think shit gets blown out of proportion. I think that it do be important for somebody to be able to face their accuser. But like the situation with Zion Williamson, it starts all kinds of nonsense because you got the girl Mariah Mills, the one that was already pressing him the first time. He had messed with her, cut her loose. She's much older than him, and she started talking about ruining his life and all kind of stuff. And now she's about to try to sue him again for rape allegations and stuff like that. It just kind of opens up a whole can of worms.
They need to start doing all these professional athletes is getting a sister from the continent. They can get every shade from light, bright, damn near white to chocolate that I love.
I like the sound of that.
And she's going to be very appreciative that you put her mother and father in here, and she's not going to come at you with all these millions. She's going to sign 5 prenups, and she's going to sit in that house and do her thing and not dress promiscuous. And I'm not saying of some theological coverings and things like that. I'm just saying that you dudes need to understand that we raise in society now that everything is instant gratification, and who can I get over on?
I get that. I got one more topic I want to touch on before we get back a little bit more into your story. Now you might not know who these guys are, but they're like these big influencers. His name is Andrew Tate. He's former You got Andrew.
Locked up, right?
Yeah, Andrew and Tristan Taylor. Okay, so
he had all that crap.
Okay.
And I used to like what he was saying.
Yeah, right?
I liked him and the brother that died.
Yeah, man. Tristan, the other brother, Tristan still.
No, I'm talking about the Samuel guy.
Kevin Samuel. Shout out Kevin Samuel.
Yeah.
Winter is definitely here. But that's a tale for another day. But Andrew and Tristan Tate, they're brothers. Now, when they went through the whole scandal in Romania, okay, and they basically were, let go. Now they've actually been arrested in the UK, in England. Same charges, prostitution, trafficking, pimping and pandering, basically. And here's my thing with this. Okay, I personally believe, because I don't really rock with anybody that's putting. Look, we got to make our money how we make it, and most women put themselves on a blade nowadays. But I don't really rock with anybody that that isolates these women and traffics them and stuff like that. I despise
pimps.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say it for you.
Yeah,
I despise them, and I think all of them should have a broomstick stuck up their rear.
Yeah, because you know what I mean. Like, you breaking down a woman mentally to the point where she's willing to give her body to anybody and then give you the money. Yeah. Like, that's the cold game.
And that's just my personal thing. I just despise.
I get it. I feel the same way. Like an actual pimp. A lot of guys walk around saying they peas and they not.
I ain't talking about these gangbanger pimps. I'm talking about
actual peas. Yeah. No. And it's crazy because I think that they did do these things. Now, when you look at the fact that they already went through this in Romania, and then we look now they're getting hit for the same thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I mean, when you were coming up way back when you jumped off the porch and you looked around, you looked left and you looked right, and you seen, like, you know what I mean, when it came to the lifestyle down there. This was during the crack epidemic, low key, right? Like, how old were you when you jumped off the porch first of all?
12.
So you was 12 years old, and that was, what year was it?
76.
76. Oh yeah, so you went through all of this, of course. So just talk about some of the parallels as per why you don't feel as though maybe it was a little bit more necessary for women to have to find that way to make their money. Can you just touch bases on that, basically, why it might not be even necessary nowadays? You know what I mean?
Okay. Because where I work during the day, I go to Figueroa a lot. Because I deal with placing people in houses. And I see some of the most beautiful women on Figueroa that are shamed 90% of these females in other states that are outside of New York and California. But I know what it is too. Both them and the dude on meth. So the difference in the, let's say, 3 decades that 70s, 80s, 90s, 80s, pimp gang got shot out by crack. It was the pimp. Okay. The 70s, it was a way of life. Women that get out there, I got to pay these bills. I got to take care of this baby. I had a homegirl of mine tell me when I was in the feds, she was telling me she was doing bad. I said, man, I seen you some bread. I'm cool. She said, as long as I can lay on my back, you ain't got to send me nothing.
Damn.
But she's from the old school.
Right. Oh yeah, my mama used to tell me, wet pussy and a dry purse don't match. She say that all the time.
So now with these chicks now and these dudes pimping, more or less they gorilla pimping, but these females are so strung out on that meth, and you don't know it because they look beautiful, but inside they traumatized and everything else. So it's just a totally different difference, man. When sisters were selling their bodies in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was because they were oppressed. We were oppressed people, and it was a hustle.
Yeah, everybody was broke.
And then a lot of the pimps was heroin addicts. The generation over me, 60% of the pimps were heroin addicts.
Damn.
But they had to gift the gab.
Right. A lot of talk.
They had to learn how to talk because that thing on their back. Iceberg Slim, most glorified pimp it is. I read all his books as a kid. He's a dope fiend. Robert Beck, straight dope fiend. Donald Gomes, dope fiend. Some of the greatest urban authors. But I just think that pimps, they the bottom of the barrel. When I was a kid, when I first went to LA County Jail, if you was a pimp, we beat you. Crips, we beat you.
Right.
You had to have been a dude who turned a pimp that was from a different gang, from a gang. But pimps, we beat them.
No, I get that. No doubt. I want to talk a little bit about the experiences out there, because with everything going on right now, snitch culture has become the norm. Now we could put it on 6ix9ine if we want to, but that was really just like the most high profile one that kind of started the wave that made it okay to talk and to tell. Now I want to get your full, the full spectrum of your view on this. Now, first question I want to ask when it comes to the snitching part: if I know information about you, let's say we never did no dirt together, right? It's just like how you showed me your paperwork, all your documents, your paperwork. It's cool now because everything's already open, shut, done. Right. But still, even so, fuck that. Even so, that's your business. Right. Now you showed it to me so I could have a better understanding than you.
Right.
And you told me, hey man, I don't give a fuck, man, here it is. But if you never told me that, and then I took that information, and then I got on my podcast without you present, and I got to say, well, BrydDOG did this, BrydDOG did that, BrydDOG did this. Yeah, he already been convicted, so y'all can't, it's not snitching because he already did this. But he did this, and he did this, and he did this, and he did that. Is that snitching?
No.
Okay, explain why. Why that's not snitching.
All right, first off, you have what's called the Freedom of Information Act, FOI.
Okay.
I often tell people, you're always saying this person telling, or you listen to that person saying this person telling. You can go download Westlaw, and findlaw.com and nexuslexus.com. Put that person's name in there and get all their paperwork. You can go to the courts and submit what's called the Freedom of Information Act. They'll probably charge you about 30 cents a page. So how are you snitching on something that's already public information?
Okay.
Now, as a content creator yourself,
yes,
if you were to do that, all you're doing is notifying the public of what's public information, and you direct them how they can go
journalistic integrity.
Now, if you're sitting up here talking about an armed robbery that happened yesterday, the dude did, or what's the new word? Unalived, unsolved.
Yes,
you're telling.
And you can't really control how an individual receive the information you're presenting.
That's true.
You can be talking about somebody and like, oh man, why are you telling my business, or why are you bringing me up? You know what I mean? You can't really control that. And like you say, as a journalist, it's really
okay.
You look at it: am I providing information, or am I picking on somebody?
All right, so now hold on now, because there's levels to this shit. Okay, so let's say now, that's not snitching. So now let's say that somebody else. Let's say I didn't have anything to do with the operation that you did.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was privy to it, and I might not have told nothing, but my name ended up in paperwork because we was on the podcast and you talked about it, or somebody else said that I was witness to it, and they put my name in. I haven't sat down with nobody, but I was mentioned in the paperwork, because I've always been confused by the proffer shit and all of that. You know what I mean?
Okay, now, conspiracy takes more than one person.
Right.
They can put you in. He can tell us right now, right? I know where Cool Bank is at.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say where. And he can say on 7th Street in Arkansas, I know you be flying out of town. He says, cool setup, but man, I ain't finna fuck with it. I just put you up on it.
Right.
Now, me, you, and Joe right here can go hit the lick and get caught. Joe right here could say, why brought the lick up? Now he's in our conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it had nothing to do with it.
It had nothing to do with it.
The fact of the mention.
To do with it.
Right.
Okay, so I said that to say this. They have a thing now out there that this is why I don't mess with the streets. I'm of the streets, not in the streets. He didn't tell on me. What you think will happen when y'all get caught?
A roll up.
He definitely not gonna tell on himself.
Yeah. So my father told me a long time ago, when he first found out I was in the streets, he said, boy, the first thing you have to master in the streets is learn how to stroke a snitch. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, the first thing is if somebody tells you that man's a snitch, you look at the guy telling you why he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So now you stroke that potential snitch, because after he tells on Joe, Jack, John, Bill, Bobby, Green, whatever, then he'll come to you. You're going to be the last person.
Right.
But after you see everybody knocked down, you should run.
Right.
That's what my father told me. That's the first rule of the streets.
Right.
He said, because they're going to be snitches, boy, since you want to live this lifestyle. He said, you better have 3 monies put up. Bail money, lawyer money, and money to bounce back off of.
Heard that.
So from the age of 12, 13 on up, I always kept money when I said I didn't have no money.
Right. I heard that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So the snitch thing, like I said, you know, it's different levels to it because I often tell dudes, okay, you got Miss Johnson that's lived on this block for 50 years. She's watched you grow up. Your name ain't BRYDOG, your name Lil Brian. She know you. Now, you 16, you hanging out there with the blue rags, some guys come up, shoot you up. Miss Johnson see the license plate on their car. She tell.
She a civilian.
She a civilian.
That's for real.
But now if your homie right here tell, he's a rat. So see what they did is they let snitching overlap because they see these high profile rappers now where social media sets the precedent now for everything.
Right.
See, it used to be the rappers set precedent for the gang members or street dudes set precedent for the rappers. But now the rappers set precedent for them. It used to be all the content was the street dudes, but now it's all kind of madness that's not acceptable in the streets is acceptable on social media.
Right.
I've never seen so many dudes from the same neighborhood tear each other down.
Nah, that's some real shit. That's you know, I think that's really wild. Would you say that gang banging, particularly on the West Coast, is dead?
I call gangbanging like I used to call prison. This is a fake world, but a very real world where you can lose your life.
Right.
So that's what gangbanging is to me now. They out there faking, but you can still lose your life.
Yeah.
They out there faking because it's certain things that from the generation I'm from we would never do that their generation done and do.
Right.
Okay. They make alliances and stuff with who's an enemy, but he's not your enemy, but he's an enemy of this. You have different factions that were, let's just say, historical enemies. Now they jump in cars with the historical enemy and go shoot other dudes that represent the same thing they represent.
Man.
That's insanity.
Cocaine.
Okay. We were just speaking on Red the other day. I don't have nothing against Red. I just never liked it even before I gangbanged. My mama would tell you. I used to throw hissy fits when I was a baby, trying to put Red on me. I didn't like it. I think Red looks good on dark-skinned men. That's just my opinion. Doesn't look good on me in my complexion. That's just my opinion. I'm talking about the bright red suits or whatever. I'm not talking about like splatches of red.
I feel you.
So we were just talking about that, and me and another guy today. That's about a year or two older than me. That's out the section. Well, not out of my section, but out of Compton.
Right.
And we were speaking on how these young kids, we can't even differentiate who they are. He might be flamed up and beaten and killed 3 dudes that wear red.
Right.
You dig what? And it's not the camouflage, but he likes red. Then you have different factions of different gangs now that they wear red, but they're supposed to be Crips.
Right.
So the gang banging is watered down, but it's very real because I believe 4 people have lost their lives this week.
Damn.
So shout out to the rest in peace to the sections. In Los Angeles is going up right now.
Yeah. Well, it's summertime.
Yeah, but it's really going up. I mean, they 2-1 WAP right there, 1-1 WAP right there, and another 1 WAP right there in a 48-hour period.
That's crazy, man.
And these are hoods that have been trying to keep, from my understanding, allegedly trying to. But one of the guys is locked up for the alleged crime. Right. Is an adversary of that neighborhood, and these 2 hoods have been trying to coexist, not kick it with each other, but get along with each other.
Right.
So yeah, man.
Does it come? I mean, does it come down to opportunity, or is it just we predisposed to that because of the culture?
Opportunity in what sense?
I'm saying, like, okay, when you was coming up, B, they didn't have special programs to grab a hold of the youth. Like you say, you jumped off the porch at 12 years old.
Right.
Nowadays, a kid at 12 years old, if he's showing issues or anger or any kind of lack of self-control or anything that the factors that drive a person to the streets, not feeling supported enough. Nowadays, you got programs and people that are genuinely invested in the youth and could have grabbed you at 12 and said, hold on, B, hold on. Here, man, let me show you a different way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I'm like, does it come down to the opportunity? Like, if you were given more of those opportunities, or somebody could grab a hold of you early, would it make a difference?
They did. Okay, this is what happened with me in my life, man. When I was coming up, when you turned 18, you could straight tell the hardest of the red rags, whatever. I don't bang no more. I'm a hustler. You used to be able to exit the gang situation, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so my thing was, when I turned 18, I'm going to the service. I'm gonna get the G. I was already thinking ahead. I'm gonna become either a neurosurgeon because I want to see how the brain operates, or I'm gonna become a pathologist to see where you go, why you died. One or the other, the coroner or a neurosurgeon. My baby mama, because she was pregnant, she said, I'm gonna go to school and become a lawyer. I had counselors reaching out to me like, you exceptionally intelligent, man. You shooting up the town. We're hearing your name, blah, 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 blah. We want you to do this. So that I was the first dude to get a scholarship to any college in the United States from Hands Across Watts, Sons of Watts, I believe, Clyde McDonald. It was a continuation I went to. Well, I caught a murder. The Olympics were in a couple of years. See, this is what these kids better listen to this part. They finna clean the streets up of all the homeless people and all you people out there that are creating havoc and lock you up and give you all day. My generation was the first generation that came to the penitentiaries at 17 and 18 in mass because the Olympics were a couple of years away. So I grew up in the era, check the box, man. I got out the penitentiary, check the box. You have a felony conviction? Yes, we'll explain the interview. Never hear from him again. So I got out with my back up against the wall. But that's not justifying and making an excuse. We had individuals that tried to reach us, but they weren't relatable generations. See, now, if you was a young kid coming up at my age, you could relate to me because of my swag, because of the connection with the streets and things like that. It's a million of us now that's trying to do community activism with the next generation. We didn't have that because we had to reach out, but you ain't no Crip, you ain't no Damu, you don't, man, cuz, what this clown trying to talk to me about? But see, now the kid can't say that to me. No. When I say, cuz I'm OG Bride from Crawford Park, 118th Street, Compton Crip, what's happening? I'm trying to holler at you. I know your homeboys, you don't even know. You'll never know. How you know my homeboys? Because such and such got flipped in 82. Such and such got flipped in 79. It ain't nothing but number 6s and 5s and 7s around here now. Infants, babies, and embryos and shit like that. So I'm just saying, but the kid wouldn't be able to talk shit to me. Because now I didn't roll call some of your homeboys and you can relate to it, because I can relate to your struggle on this gang culture, or let's just say on this West Coast culture. Right. Right. See, because everything is not gang, but it's a way of life with us, how we dress. Like, you ain't affiliated. You got your hat turned to the back. You got your shirt on. Okay, take one to know one, but then it doesn't these days because it could be anyone. But I can look at you and I say to you, like, where you out of, man? That's how I hit dudes up. I don't like where you from. I like, where you out of? L.A., what part? You banging on me? No, I'm saying, what part you out of? Yeah, what part you from, yeah. Oh, okay, all right. All right, peace. I never ask dudes where they from any longer. Right. I ask you where you out of. Right. So, yeah, it's watered down, man, but it's deadly.
I feel it. Okay.
Because they see each other on the internet all the time.
That's the thing. And that's just be tripping. Now, shout out to Compton Rick Rock, man. He did a video I was watching, and he was like, a lot of these guys be online, and they be like, yo, I'm not an internet nigga. But you always on the internet. Yeah. Every time you got an issue, every time something going on, you on the internet. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I just think it's odd. Quick question, real quick, because we coming down to the twilight of the show. Quick question. How do you feel about people running content from prison? Like phone calls, where they recording, like, you know, like you had a situation with Sharice Mills and Loose Cannon, how they were doing the jail calls, and, you know,
they're telling on themselves.
Okay.
You read my paperwork where I intentionally called those guys from other neighborhoods, and I told you I knew they was recording.
Come down
to the court and see your homeboys telling on me.
Yeah.
Well, I told them I'm sending my paperwork to them. Yeah. I didn't care about the feds hearing that. No. But never would I have said, like, hey, man, I hit this check cash and lick and such telling on me about it. Now I just incriminated myself. Dummy. Yeah. No, that's but I did say, you need to come down there and see who's telling on me. Right. You need to come to my court appearance. But when these dudes are calling from the feds, first off, what they don't understand about the feds do what they call, they redact statements. So they'll take this, and piece it together.
Damn. That's wild.
So your lawyer, if he doesn't fight to get the whole redactment as is, which my lawyer did, right, they'll make it look like he telling on us.
And to put everything in motherfuckers' perspective before we get out of here, B, just give these people an idea of how many people knew and how many stayed solid when it came to your cases. Because I thought it was fucking wild. You got fucking 2 people out of how many?
7 of us and 2 stayed solid, including myself. That's 3.
Come on now. That's crazy. So it's like, you know, and I'm pretty sure when the dirt went down, man, we ain't telling shit.
More than half folded.
We ain't gonna say nothing. Nigga, they lock us all up. Nigga, ain't nobody rolling, nigga. Yeah. Keep your stories. And then as soon as niggas got in there.
boy.
It's crazy.
Because
That
I
shit
was
is
on
crazy.
people, I was on people like, why you was in there so long? I just went back there and said, what'd you say? I have the right to remain silent? Oh yeah, that statement is no statement. I assert my Miranda rights. I don't got nothing to say to y'all.
Nothing.
Well, just sitting here. No, I'm not gonna sit in here.
Nope.
Let me up out of here. And I got up.
We ain't got nothing to talk about.
And then my other co-defendant came, did the same thing. 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I'm like, all right, we solid. But once we all got split up, the feds, I'm gonna say this to y'all because he gotta go. I'm gonna say this to y'all real quick. The feds has unlimited resources, don't care how much money you got. They want you, they gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, 98% of their convictions are based on somebody telling on you.
Damn.
98% of them.
That is wild. That's wild.
There's only one case in the feds where I seen it was a bunch of dudes and they stayed solid. Shout out to the main streets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They beat them Europeans.
Huh.
And I think it was about 7 of them on the case.
B, I definitely got to have you. You gonna have to definitely come back on again, man. We gotta do this again. This was fucking phenomenal. This was dope right here, man. Normally I'm all over the place and wacky and shit, bro, but I had to dial in and focus. You put me in a mindset, showing me all that paperwork. And by the way, if it's a sealed document, the government requests that seal, you better check your homie.
You better run away from him.
You better run from your homie. I'm just letting you know that. Listen, man, hey, shout out to my boy B, man. Shout out to Cam, Innovative Culture, man. We going up to season 6. We just getting started. You know what it is. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. You hit that notification bell. I'm trying to get these YouTube's numbers up, y'all. So keep fucking with me. I'm going to keep fucking with y'all. This has been California's finest radio with the promo king himself. Product 5 stacks and counting. West Coast nigga, look out. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen of the California Trap Trinity, hold on to your Kush blunts and your lace fronts. This is your #1 choice for entertainment. It's your boy that always shine and keep the promos right on time. That's right, the promo king himself. Product 5 stacks and count.
Innovative.